Hi there, I care and you matter. I'm Shannon and welcome to my channel and welcome to another casual conversation, which I think I'm going to start calling Talk Tuesday. Thank you to all of those who reached out and told me that, yeah, you do like these videos, you do watch them, you enjoy them, and you'd like to see them more. So here we are. And I'm happy to hear that you enjoy them as much as I enjoy making them. And full disclosure, this past weekend, oh, oy vey, I tried my hand at filming some scripted videos for here on YouTube on my channel. And oh, not me. Didn't work. Oh, I hated it. I hated filming it. I hated watching myself and editing it. And I realized that it was so not me that I deleted all those hours of footage that I had filmed because it just wasn't, yeah, it wasn't right. It wasn't right for me, and it wasn't worth posting on my channel, which leads me to something else. And oh, I both love this about me and I hate this about me. I think it's both a strength and a weakness. What is that? I got no problem with change. No problem. And I think that comes from the fact that there was so much in my childhood that I had to deal with and manage, and I just couldn't change it. That I decided that as an adult, if there were things in my life that I didn't like, that weren't working, and I could change it, well, I was darn well going to do it, come hell or high water. And so y'all know I've been very, very transparent here about I'm trying out new things in terms of writing. I identify as a writer. I identify as a teacher for years and an educator, and I love that, and that really was my identity. But then I was essentially forced out of the classroom because my youngest son, Mark, at the time, and still, he's an adult now, he still needs a full-time caregiver. Not in that he can't do some things for himself, but he needs supervision, essentially 24/7. If he's not sleeping, someone's got to have eyes on him. So that really prevented me from working in the classroom. And I had to find a way to bring in income because at that time we needed a double income. And daycare certainly wasn't an option, not with his special needs, nor could we have afforded it. So I found a way to become a writer, and I have worked for the past 16, 17 years as a curriculum writer. And while I love that, I feel really good at it. Expository writing, right? Explaining things so that children primarily and adults can understand whatever it is that is being taught. I realize that after that much time, I want to write something different. And so I tried my hand at some fiction. I wrote a middle grade fiction book and I enjoyed that, yeah. And then I decided earlier this year that I wanted to try my hand at adult fiction, and that's what you guys knew last. But I realized that I was spending so much time in the planning phase that I thought, uh-oh, is this a fancy way of procrastinating actually getting down to the work? Because I just love planning any kind of project, right? I love playing with the paper, the notebooks, the index cards, the pens, the highlighters, all that fun stuff. But it dawned on me, wait, is this becoming an excuse? Is this just fancy procrastination? Because I'm kind of dreading getting into the writing. And I realized I really took a good, hard look at that. And I thought, okay, this is a problem because it's not me. If I'm dreading sitting down to write, that's not where I need to be focusing. And then I was reminded of a saying, came across it online. If it's your calling, it will keep calling. And I reflected a little bit on the scripted videos I tried to do and recognized, oh, those are not me. So what is me? Conversational. I love people. I love connecting with people, both in person and online. And I realized that what felt good, what felt true to me, is this book right here that I released it last March, and I worked on it all the beginning of the year. It's Common Things, Core Truths. And it's object lessons. An object lesson is where you take a physical object and you connect it to a lesson so that somebody can remember it. and put it to use in a practical way. The lesson, not necessarily the object. And so this book I wrote as a book that I wish I had had 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago now. And it's a collection of 50 different everyday objects, common things, and I connect it to a real world strategy or core truth. And so it's written in a very, link to that in the description below, shameless plug. But writing that book it was easy because I was being true to myself and true to the kind of content and help that I want to put out there. And so I realized, okay, it's okay stopping and pivoting, stopping and changing in light of self-reflection or awareness of something else is not failure. Pivoting is not failure. What is a failure is staying in a mistake longer than you have to. Forcing yourself to do something that is clearly not right for you personally or your situation, that's a failure. There's a difference between giving up and changing course, right? And so I realized that I was very stalled, and there was a reason I wasn't sitting down to actually write. I was enjoying learning about the fiction writing process, the 3-act story structure, the character arc, setting, plot, dialogue, all that good stuff. I enjoyed learning about that. I've even been trying to push myself out of my comfort zone in terms of reading. Been reading some adult fiction and not loving it. Maybe that should have been my first sign. And so I thought, okay, no, my husband is unemployed still for the last 9 months, and I am the sole breadwinner, which is fine, but that's a lot of pressure on top of caregiving and all that good stuff. Jason's been wonderful about taking on making meals and housework and all that. But the extra little bit of time I have each day needs to be spent doing something that I enjoy and look forward to, and that I can be proud of later on, because I made a commitment and a promise to myself. I don't know if I've shared this or not. My birthday is in December, and I'm turning 50. And I have decided that by the time my birthday rolls around, I will have made a significant transformation in my life. I want the rest of my life to be the best of my life. And I don't want to leave that to chance. I want to turn it into a probability. And the only way to do that is to make changes myself, to affect what I can control, affect what I can change. And that includes my goals, professionally and personally, because to separate what I want to do with my professional goals is too difficult. I want them to be one and the same. And so, yeah, I have decided that I'm going to pivot again. And I didn't want to write pure self-help books because I don't have all the answers. I'm just somebody who has struggled. I'm somebody who has faced a lot of challenges. I'm somebody who's made mistakes. But I'm also somebody who's learned from them. And so I thought, could I take the two and kind of smush them together? And so I came up with an idea. And I think I'm going to work on a series called True Stories, Thoughts, and Warnings. And so it's going to be books with a collection of anecdotes, my thoughts, and what I've learned, warnings, about how to do things, I guess, the best way possible. And of course, that looks different for everybody. But I want to share some of the things I've learned, whether it be from my mistakes, from my experiences, or watching other people. And so to challenge myself, I want to get out of that planning stage, even though I really enjoy it, and I want to get writing. And so today I challenged myself. I sat down for an hour over in our incubator space. I think I've shared that with you. I changed our formal dining room, because we're not formal people, into what we're calling an incubator space. We put a little table in there and a bookshelf and made it a really inviting place. And at that table, no electronics. Well, maybe the exception of our phone just for research, but like no laptops, nothing. In fact, I have a little caddy of index cards, Post-it notes, pens, highlighters, all that good stuff there, so that it's just an analog space. And so I sat in our incubator in my analog space, and I forced myself to come up with 10 different stories for 10 different areas. And so that is what I'm going to be working on now. And there's no excuse. I know what I'm writing. So now, every day, I don't know if you see behind me, I have a lava lamp that's going. And I have some glowing little orbs here. And I also have another computer monitor behind me. And that's because that is my writing station. My analog space is now in the incubator in what was our formal dining room. That was the best thing I ever did. You know, don't force yourself to fit traditional. If you got a room in your house and it might be named one thing, it doesn't mean you have to use it for that. I mean, my goodness, a linen closet. I use our linen closet as an extra pantry because I be stocking up when sales are going, right? And we keep things like towels and sheets in our room. So like my kids, they keep their clean sheets in their room, and their bathroom towels, they each have their own bath towel, goes in one of their drawers. Same with us and my husband and I, our bedroom. So yeah, don't allow yourself to be forced into traditional rules, I guess, right? And so I decided that, okay, I have an analog space to go and brainstorm, but now I needed a space that I could literally turn my back on my work computer and write. And I wanted to further emphasize that by putting my little glowy orbs here and the lava lamp on a timer. Those both go off, or they turn on at 2 o'clock my time every single day. And I have made a commitment and a promise with myself. I will write every day from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. come hell or high water. I can write longer if I want, but I have to be writing, putting words on the page or on the screen as it is, during that 60 minutes, because nothing changes if nothing changes, right? And I will not break this promise to myself. And it's interesting because this starts tomorrow. I already came up with all my ideas, so there's no excuse about what to write. I have the time set aside. I've got myself set up. I'm ready to go. And now it's actually time to move from planning to being productive and actually producing results. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And if you think I'm wishy-washy and flaky, I'm sure it comes off as that to other people. But I do have to share and be really honest about the fact that I'm in a position in my life right now where I could very much feel stuck. And maybe I'm going to get a little too dark here, a little too deep. And I'm going to wrap this up. I know this is going on and on and on. There was a time in the not so distant past that it felt very much like a race to the grave between my son with special needs and myself. I've been his caregiver now for almost 17 years, and it has been a day in, day out, and 24-hour, 7 days a week process. I have never, not one time, had a vacation away from him. I have never been able to leave him with a babysitter. Even my in-laws won't watch him. And yes, we are eligible for in-home respite care where somebody would come and watch him in our home so that we could leave, so I could leave. When you are already exhausted, there is no energy left to interview people, to do background checks, to get comfortable with having a stranger come into your home. I just was so at capacity that would have been the straw that broke my back. And I remember looking in the mirror and thinking, oh my gosh, who is this person? Because I didn't recognize myself, and I certainly was not the kind of person I wanted to be. And I realized it was because I was just completely spent, completely worn out, completely burnt out. And I realized I needed to take some things back. I needed to take myself back and have my own identity and prioritize my own desires and my own goals outside of being Mark's mother and Mark's caregiver. And so, yeah, if what I'm focusing on and choosing to work on isn't working for me and doesn't feel right, yeah, I'm going to shed that skin and I'm going to try again and I'm going to change and I'm going to pivot. And so here we go. And I'm going to try this on for size. I'm certainly still going to be doing Writer Wednesday because I'm still writing and I identify as a writer. And because I identify that in myself, and that's not only a hobby and a professional goal, it is a priority for me. And as such, Writer Wednesday is a great way for me to prioritize and keep myself accountable to what's important to me, right? Yeah, boy, that was a lot. But I already feel lighter sharing all of this with you. And I hope that my transparency and my honesty helps you and hopefully gives you some inspiration to shake things up and make some changes in your life where and how you can to improve things for you, even if there's a whole cluster and mountain of stuff that you can't affect. Because you know what, it looks different for all of us, but we've all got those mountains that we've got to figure out how to navigate. We can't move mountains, but that doesn't mean we can't build great things around them. Right? So I'm going to leave this Talk Tuesday casual conversation here. Hey, if you like the idea of the True Stories, what did I call it? True Stories, Thoughts and Warnings series, let me know in the comments below. Or do you think I'm wasting my time? Truth be told, it's not a waste of my time if I enjoy doing it. But it would be nice to know that there are some potential readers out there who might check it out. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye-bye.